Travel consideration provided by...
My asthma felt anything but normal. It was time for a new normal with Nucala.
Nucala is a once-monthly add-on treatment for severe eosinophilic asthma that can mean less oral steroids, not for sudden breathing problems. Allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Infections that can cause shingles have occurred. Don't stop steroids unless told by your doctor. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection. May cause headache, injection site reactions, back pain, and fatigue.
Ask your asthma specialist about a new normal with Nucala.
Tomorrow, Nashville Week continues with Jelly Roll and your partner in crime, Lainey, will be here also. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you and Lainey Wilson have a new song coming out.
Yeah, girl, it's called Thick as Thief.
Okay.
2 C's.
2 C's. Because she's thick.
We got some things in common.
Little badonk-a-donk.
That's what we're celebrating it.
I love the girlfriend relationship that you and Lainey have, and it kind of reminds me of the girls on Sex and the City, right? Now there's this big debate. Who was the worst man on Sex and the City? There really is only one answer. What would you do if someone broke up with you on a Post-it note?
I've had worse.
What has happened to you?
Broken up with in a therapy session.
Oh, wow. That's
but it
safe
was probably,
space.
You know,
safe
it was
space.
probably good for him because he knew he was going to need some protection.
Yeah.
Well, Hollywood is talking about this, too. I don't know if there was any therapy session issues, but take a look at this.
Take care, y'all.
Right.
I don't want you to uproot your life.
Happening now. Neighborhoods don't commit violent acts. People do.
More than 60 gun-related murders in the first half of the year, and even more shootings not resulting in death. What local nonprofits are doing now to prevent crime across the city.
I'll be back to check authority radar, see what kind of showers are lingering out there, plus more opportunities for rain before the heat high creeps in. I'll see you in a bit.
The more you take, the better it is for your health. The different medical conditions that can see improvement is making it a point to walk every day. We're going to tell you what you need to know. The news at 5 starts right now. But first at 5, the city's still reeling from a weekend of violent shootings with multiple attacks resulting in 6 people killed. Whether the beginning of a trend or a one-time spike in crime, a first-of-its-kind coalition working on new ways to try to prevent it.
Our Camelia Juarez tells us why the San Antonio Coalition Against Youth Violence thinks police can only do so much, and that's why we should all be paying attention no matter where we live.
The chairman of the San Antonio Coalition Against Youth Violence says the recent UTSA violent crime reduction plan that SAPD is putting into place isn't effective at predicting problem areas.
That guy didn't get killed on the east side in a barbershop. He got killed in the area where it was highly unlikely that this type of violence would take place.
Violent crime in San Antonio does not appear to be in one area of the city. Instead, it's spread throughout. That's why the coalition is focusing on every single part of San Antonio.
Neighborhoods don't commit violent acts. People do. And people are fluid.
That's why the coalition is using different nonprofits to create partnerships in each quadrant of San Antonio. For example, Rise Recovery will listen to concerned parents or teenagers from the South Side, taking their concerns to other area resources and potentially the rest of the coalition.
They bring them to the greater whole, to the bigger table, where we can all sit and discuss not only the problems that cover San Antonio as a whole, but what's individually identified as a problem within that particular community.
Patterson believes violence prevention starts with multiple groups across San Antonio consistently teaching grade school kids about gang violence, gun safety.
It's not like, oh, we got a plan that's going to deal with violence on the east side. No, we got a plan that's going to deal with violence.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
A story that's still developing in northeast Bexar County, a heated argument over a noisy neighbor ending in gunfire and a woman with a gunshot wound to the chest. This happening around 2 this morning at the Arcadian apartment complex in the 4600 block of North Loop 1604 East between Ben Zingelman Road and I-10. Investigators say the victim told them she had banged on the door of an upstairs neighbor to complain about all the noise. Her complaint turned into an argument with a man who police say shot her. She was taken to the hospital in critical condition. They say the man, who was a visitor to the apartment complex, took off, and so far no arrests have been made.
A man killed last night by a train, and today the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office working to notify the next of kin. It happened along the tracks at I-35 in Thousand Oaks. According to police, someone sitting on the tracks just before 11 o'clock last night when the train was going through the area. That individual hit and killed. The victim described as a 38-year-old man, but as of now, the ME's office not releasing a name. In addition, the San Antonio Police Department, Union Pacific officials are also investigating this incident.
A second suspect in a Facebook Marketplace meetup robbery now facing some charges. 20-year-old Sydney Temple facing 2 counts of aggravated robbery along with 17-year-old Kayvon Adamson. Police say that they organized a meeting through Facebook Marketplace with the victim and a friend to sell a PlayStation at an apartment complex. Police say instead the suspects pulled guns and robbed the buyers. This is the second robbery at that complex in recent weeks. The federal government now keeping an eye on how the city of Houston responds to illegal trash dumping complaints. It's part of a 3-year agreement with the Justice Department. The deal coming after a federal investigation into complaints that the city was dragging its feet when the dumping was reported in Black and Latino neighborhoods of Houston. That made it a civil rights matter.
No one should have to live next to discarded tires, bags of trash, rotting carcasses, infected soils, and contaminated groundwater, all caused by illegal dumping. For too long now, Houston's underserved and low-income communities have had to bear the health burdens of the inaction and misdeeds of others.
That's U.S. Attorney Alamdar Hamdani. He says Houston must also keep and report data and continue its efforts to shorten cleanup time and prevent illegal dumping. After months of speculation, Mike Pence has officially thrown his name in the race for the White House. The former vice president announcing today in Iowa that he'll be the first vice president in modern history to challenge his former running mate. Pence took time to separate himself from former President Donald Trump and accused him of abandoning conservative principles, namely abortion. Right now, Trump leads in polling for the Republican nomination.
Police say a gunman outside of the Virginia high school graduation targeted the 18-year-old graduate that was killed. 18-year-old Sean Jackson and his father Lorenzo Smith were both shot and killed yesterday after that ceremony in Richmond, Virginia. Police say that the suspect, 19-year-old Amari Pollard, had been caught up in a dispute with the other young man for more than a year. 5 other people were hurt in that shooting. Police still don't know how that original dispute even began.
A Florida woman accused of killing her neighbor now behind bars. Susan Lawrence is facing manslaughter and other charges after investigators say she shot and killed her neighbor over the weekend. Lawrence and Ajiki Owens, a mother of 4, had a years-long feud over Owens' children playing outside. Police say Lawrence actually told them she fired in self-defense after Owens tried to break down her door. Detectives, though, deemed those actions unjustifiable under Florida's stand your ground law. If convicted, she could face up to 30 years in prison.
Twitter owner Elon Musk and the company's lawyers now at odds whether the government dipped into company operations. Musk has long touted claims that the government illegally coerced Twitter into censoring content leading up to the 2020 election. However, Twitter's own lawyers are disputing that. Those attorneys say the FBI was just issuing general updates about their efforts to combat foreign interference in the election. The filing part of a lawsuit over the banning of Donald Trump's Twitter account.
Several recent wildlife deaths at Yellowstone National Park, leading the Park Service to remind visitors to give the animals some space. 2 adult black bears have died in recent weeks at Yellowstone after being hit by cars inside the park. Park regulations require people in cars to stay at least 25 yards away from all wildlife, at least 100 yards away from bears and wolves. Failure to follow those rules could result in fines or injury.
It's an air quality emergency affecting millions of Americans across at least 18 states at this hour. And it's from smoke from Canadian wildfires that are creating the most unhealthy air quality in probably a century.
Yeah, there's a city out there behind us somewhere. The situation expected to continue for the next several days. ABC's Alexis Christoforous with the latest.
Millions of Americans are on alert, being urged to stay indoors, as much of the Northeast is experiencing the worst air quality on record since 1999. The National Weather Service issuing air quality alerts, stretching west to Ohio and as far south as the Carolinas and Georgia.
These values are not just unhealthy, they're downright dangerous, not just to those who have chronic lung disease or those who are elderly, but also to everyone.
New York City's air quality index peaking above 300, or hazardous, registering among the top 5 worst major cities worldwide.
This is not the day to train for a marathon or to do an outside event with your children. Stay inside, close windows and doors, and use air purifiers if you have them.
In addition to staying inside, medical experts advise wearing a high-quality mask, such as an N95, checking HEPA filters if you have them inside your home, and setting air conditioners in your car and house to recirculate. All that smoke is coming from wildfires in Canada. The country's fire season off to an early start, with more than 8.7 million acres burned.
Across the country as of today, there are 414 wildfires burning, 239 of which are determined to be out of control.
While wildfires are not caused by climate change, excessive heat and drought are. And experts believe that's helping fuel longer and more intense fires.
This smoke and fog over New York and the rest of the Northeast is a warning from nature that we have a lot of work to do to reverse the destruction of climate change.
According to Stanford researchers, exposure to unhealthy levels of wildfire smoke for several days is the equivalent of smoking 7 cigarettes a day if someone were outside the entire time. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, the staff at Northeast Baptist Hospital fighting food insecurity. They're teaming up with a local food bank to fill up cereal bowls across San Antonio. The 9th annual Healthy Over Hungry cereal drive wants to collect 25,000 servings of cereal for people suffering from food insecurity all across the city. The San Antonio Food Bank says Texas ranks second in the country for food insecurity, and in Bexar County, 1 in 4 children don't know where they'll find their next meal. It's a problem professionals at Northeast Baptist want to fix.
Cereal is one of those things that can start their day out. And if you really focus on that whole grain, lower sugar cereal, we can really make a difference here.
People can drop off that lower sugar cereal at any of the 6 Baptist Health System hospitals until next Monday.
Check out traffic right now, and let's go to where I-35 and 410 come together on the north side of the city, and you can see a big traffic slowdown. Again, these are the northbound lanes of I-35 at 410, kind of over by Morgan's Wonderland and in that area, and you can see it's a big slowdown at this hour.
Par for the course this time of day.
Not surprising.
I-35 there on the east side of town. No rain delays. Now, we did have a few sprinkles and drops fall from the clouds over the past couple of hours, especially on the west side of town and north side of town very briefly earlier today. This is the radar over the past couple of hours, and most of what developed out there has really fizzled out and has dissipated. But we had a few thunderstorms over the hill country. Coming up in a little bit, we'll look at how much rain fell and where, especially in drought-stricken Bandera County. 95 in Del Rio, but 84 in Leon Springs, where we have more clouds, 88 in Floresville. Right now, Lavernia, 89 in Mico at 87 degrees. But notice 80s on the map for most of us. That's going to be changing in the days ahead. We'll get into our temperature trend as the heat high takes over, along with some storms. We're watching some activity in West Texas that could move our way tonight. An update in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Stepping into better health. The benefits of walking that experts are touting, and the best motivation to get you moving every day.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the newsroom, and here's what's coming your way today on the news at 6 o'clock. Neighbors joining together to help police catch the people breaking into and stealing cars in their West Side community. We'll show you these crimes that were caught on video and what these neighbors plan to do about it. Statewide hospital staff and bed shortages. It's causing an overflow of inmates needing mental health resources. How a new project launched by Bexar County is hoping to relieve some of these issues. And the federal government is putting out hundreds of millions of dollars for climate initiatives. And the city of San Antonio is looking to grab some of that green, what they hope to use it for. Coming up today at 6. We'll see you then in less than an hour.
Thank you so much, Myra. Walking, it does your body good. It can help protect against heart disease, type 2 diabetes, even cancer. But how much do you need to walk?
Yeah, you hear a lot about 10,000 steps a day, but as 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz reports, any walking is a step in the right direction.
Do you get 10,000 steps a day? That's roughly 5 miles. But if 10,000 steps is just too much, good news. Fewer steps can still lead to improved health.
Higher step counts have been associated with a lower risk of things like sleep apnea, reflux, and depression. But even a 15-minute stroll can help improve your mood, reduce stress, and help you sleep better.
Generally, experts say the more you walk, the better. But if you need motivation, a fitness tracker or smartwatch can help you reach your goals. Consumer Reports tests both types of gadgets and recommends the Fitbit Inspire 3 for $99 and the Apple Watch SE for about $250.
Remember that there's no one correct number of steps for every person. Any amount of walking that gets you up and out of your chair is a step in the right direction.
To figure out your step goal, start by finding out how many steps you get in a typical week. Then increase your daily average by 500. Once you can hit that new number regularly for a week, add another 500. Some things that can help: good fitting shoes, wearing bright colors, and walking with good posture. If you have balance issues, use walking poles. And if you need music or a podcast, be sure you're still aware of your environment to keep you safe and let you enjoy the walk. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Taking a live look outside with CBA Camp. No smoke issues here in San Antonio. And for the first time in a few days, not a lot of rain in our area at this hour.
No, actually, we have a little bit of a break today over San Antonio, and no, we don't have that smoke. We do get smoke from annual agricultural fires, usually April and May, and we had some of that, especially in the month of May, but right now we just have our typical summertime haze. Let's get right to the radar. Let's take a look at the last couple of hours. Not much out there. Now, earlier today, we did have a really heavy downpour that was in Bandera County, and right now, one downpour up in northern Edwards County and right along I-10 west of Kerrville. But here's a look at the rain that fell earlier today. And check this out, this green and yellow area in central Bandera County. Very drought-stricken part of our area. It's good to see these accumulations. Light green indicates a minimum of ½ an inch. You get into the yellow, and that's a minimum of 2 inches on the authority radar estimated rainfall totals. And so central Bandera County around Medina down to Tarpley, over 2 inches estimated by the radar, but lesser amounts as you head eastward. That's all we have out there so far today. What we're going to be watching off to the west is this activity in West Texas near Pecos and basically Alpine area. Some of that may organize and even drift our way, and there's the chance that some of it could make it to Valverde County closer to sunset later on this evening, and then even creep its way into the hill country thereafter, and also more development near the border around sunset. So that's what we're going to be watching this evening. And of course, there's always the chance that some of these leftovers could creep their way closer to San Antonio. And if that actually happens, that would be closer to midnight or even an hour or two thereafter when we could get some leftovers. I know this model shows them dissipating by the time they get to Uvalde, but there's still that off chance we could see a brief shower from that. We're not expecting anything strong to severe. Now, tomorrow we have a 30% chance, slightly better chances, odds than today. And whatever does develop tomorrow does run the risk of becoming strong to severe. Localized large hail, localized high wind gusts possible with storms tomorrow. Then Friday, 20% chance in the afternoon. Saturday, down to 10%. And then we turn off the storm chances, and you can thank the big heat high for that. Let's talk about it. First of all, temperatures. Today, 86. The average 92, so another day below average thanks to those clouds that were actually from some of those storms off to the northwest of us. The record high, 104. That was set back, 2022. We remember last year and all the heat we had. Well, we set a record on this day last year. This year, we're actually below average. Right now we're at 87, so I guess our new high, 87 degrees. Dew point is 67, so you feel that mugginess. Here's the heat high, though. It's still far to the south of us, just south of Cabo San Lucas, west of mainland Mexico there. This will continue to slowly build its way in, and it's going to start nosing its way in by Sunday and then really plant itself almost directly overhead into the early part of next week. So that's going to be pressing down on us, and that big blue H, the heat high, look what it does to our temperatures. 92 tomorrow, 95 Friday and Saturday. By Sunday, we're at 96. Tuesday of next week, 98 degrees. And whenever you're talking upper 90s, there's always that chance you could hit triple digits. And that's for around San Antonio and surrounding communities, but you get along the border and it's going to be warmer. So tomorrow, 10% chance in the morning and at noon, then a 30% chance into the afternoon. And whatever does develop, it's going to be isolated, but potentially strong to severe. 92 the high temperature, 94 in Divine, 90 in Bulverde, Canyon Lake, a high temperature of 91. And then really nothing but sunshine starting on Saturday, lasting through next week. Hello, heat high. It's coming back.
Yeah, dry heat.
Yeah.
As we said at noon.
Sure. All right, when the road to Omaha comes up, the Longhorns getting some local help.
Yes, Jalen Flores out of Brandeis High School, one of the best young college baseball players around. He's from Brandeis High School. He hit a grand slam the other day to help the Longhorns advance to the Super Regionals. Plus, Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight after the break.
The feeling was just pass it back next guy. Just get that next guy up there and let him do his thing. BK walked, gave me the opportunity to get a good pitch to drive, and that's what I did.
Brandeis High School alum Jalen Flores helped power Texas into Super Regionals with a grand slam in big board sports. Tonight is Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat will host the Denver Nuggets. The Heat won Game 2 in Denver to take home court advantage away from the Joker and his guys. Heat shooting guard Max Strus came up big with 14 points, knocking down 4 3-pointers in that last game, helping the Heat get one step closer to the title.
Winning a game is enjoyable, but after that, it's back to the drawing board. Like I said, we're trying to get to 4, so just trying to, enjoy the little moments that we can, but right after that, get locked back in to, get what's next, and that's Game 3 tonight.
It's just putting together 48 minutes. It has nothing to do with tightness. We're not playing well, and we were still in control of the game. It felt like we just got to be able to, like I said, put together 48 minutes and trust each other down the stretch. So yeah.
Game 3 tips tonight, 7:30 in Miami, live right here on KSAT 12. Texas baseball defeated Miami 10-6 on Sunday to win the Coral Gables Regional while punching their ticket to the Super Regionals, where they will face the Stanford Cardinal. In that game Sunday, Horns freshman Jalen Flores crushed a grand slam to center field in the bottom of the third inning as part of a 9-run frame. The Brandeis great was asked to walk us through that at-bat.
Yeah, I'd say going into that bat, I want to say there's one out. Honestly, my job was advance the runners, get a run in, scratch for something, get a pitch I can drive to early, and that's what I went up there with that mindset, just getting the job done for my teammates, give us the best chance to win.
He certainly got the job done. So Texas will play at Stanford in the Stanford Super Regional. Game 1 is this Saturday at 5 p.m. Game 2 is Sunday with game time to be announced. And Game 3, if necessary, will go down on Monday, time to be determined. And TCU is hosting the Fort Worth Super Regional, where they will face Indiana State. Game 1 is this Friday at 4 in the afternoon. Game 2 is Saturday at 5 p.m. And Game 3, if needed, will be Sunday the 11th, time to be announced.
Got to have at least one Texas school in the College World Series.
Absolutely, we do.
At least one.
Yep.
2 maybe.
Fingers crossed if I can do it.
Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
I want to point out, coming up at 6, we'll take a closer look at some of that smoke in the air from the Canadian wildfires and that satellite imagery, along with the model data where it predicts it to be moving in the atmosphere. As for us, some isolated pop-up showers and storms still possible this evening and tonight, and then again the next few afternoons. But we warm up, upper 90s next week. Get ready.
Summer's coming. Thanks for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.